Hey everybody, Alex with Swamp Rat Fishing here, and today we're going to cover the Plano Egg Series tackle boxes. We're going to kind of go through what they offer, and then I've got about 5 or 6 Instagram questions that we're going to go through. So get your cold frosty beverage ready. Let's get into it. All right, now that the intro's out of the way, we got our cold frosty beverage. Let's dive into this video. Before we go any further, I just want to make it known that this video is 100% sponsored by my bank account. I haven't been paid to talk about these. I just wanted to kind of put it out there. I'm just a guy who fishes out of his kayak all the time, and here's my honest review of these boxes. So these boxes initially interest me because of the one-handed latch system on them. I thought that'd be real nice in the kayak. Sometimes you have to fumble with some other boxes to get both the latches off. So that's initially why I got these boxes. And I wanted to protect my investment, right? We spend all this money on fishing gear, and then sometimes I feel like we really forget about the whole like protecting our investment side of it. So I picked them up. As I talk about the boxes that I have, we're definitely gonna do some deep down footage of them so you can kind of see how I have them rigged up and kind of how it holds everything. So the first box that I bought was the bladed jig box. It really interests me. I was just getting into swim jig fishing, and I wanted something to be able to hold all these jigs. This box is amazing. As you can see here, it holds a ton of jigs. It'll hold chatterbaits, regular jigs, swim jigs, no problem. It'll hold them really securely, tip them upside down, no issues at all with that. So it's just an amazing box. And then from there, I've been kind of hooked from then. So I picked up the 3700 box and the standard 3700. I picked up the 3600 box standard. And now I have quite a few of those. I really like both of those. They're really good boxes. The 3600s, I use for like under my kayak seat storage, and it works out really well. So I also picked up the 3700 thin. That's the newest box that I have. And that box I've been able to put all my crappie soft plastics in, and it works great, holds them all there. It's bigger than the 3600 obviously, but it's not as deep, so it doesn't take up as much space underneath the seat. And then I also picked up the small crankbait box. This box is really the letdown out of this whole series for me. This box, it will hold small crankbaits. What I wanted to hold them for, it is not helpful with at all. It'll really only hold like your KVD 1.5s, real small crankbaits like that. I'm using it now for home storage to hold lipless crankbaits. It could probably hold your jerkbaits too. But this box is kind of a letdown, and then you can get the bigger box, but that thing's way too big to fit in the kayak. So just be buyer beware on that one. Let me give you an example of that box. You saw it in the deep down, but like you can hear the inserts kind of hitting that lid. Not a fan of it. If you have a boat, that's probably better. In the kayak, that's a no-go for me. So some pros and cons to this whole series of tackle boxes. The pros, that one-handed latch system is awesome. It definitely works well, even with the bigger box. Like, no problem, right? One and done. So it's great. Also, it has a wick restrictor. We'll show a close-up of that. But it has a water restricting wick inside of it. It basically holds the silica packs that you get like in packaged goods. And that'll help pull all the moisture out of the box. So when you put wet lures in there, they're not just gonna sit in there and rust. So I really like that. The cons are the price. So these boxes are not cheap. The cheapest one runs for 20 bucks, and the most expensive one, that being the terminal one, runs for $50. I do have some links down below to Amazon. I would definitely watch Amazon. Only 2 of the boxes that I have, I paid full price for. I either got them off Amazon, or I went to a store that does price matching, and I showed them the Amazon, and they were good with that. So that is a con to them. They can be expensive. Another pro to them is they stack really well because they kind of interlock. Let me show you. So here they are. Here's two. Here's the thin, the 3700 thin, and the regular 3700. They lock in, so they fit really easy in a kayak crate. I'm able to fit in my Flambeau Tough Crate. I'm able to fit them just like this, and they slide in just fine. So that's a really big upside to them. I sent out a post on Instagram. I want to know your guys' questions on Instagram who follow me. If you don't, definitely follow me on Instagram. I got daily content that comes up there. It's the same name as here, Swamp Rat Fishing. You'll be able to find me. You'll see the logo. But out there, I put out a post. I want to know your guys' questions about this group of boxes. And so I want to make sure that I'm going to shout out folks who gave me these awesome questions. I want to make sure I can do what I can to answer them. So the first one comes from Thick Boy Fishing 1. And his question was, will they work good in a backpack? I don't bank fish a ton, but I have taken the 3600 size boxes bank fishing, and they work great. Because they have such a tight seal on them, it's gonna stop a lot of baits from sliding around. Your treble hook's getting up underneath where the lid is, and the dividers don't really have that problem. So it's awesome. Thank you for that question there, Thick Boy. Next up, we have a question from Spice Can't Fish. Spice asked the crankbait box, kind of what we talked about earlier, will it hold the bigger crankbaits? No, it won't. That normal, what they label as small, will not hold it. And it's not small. Again, this is like the only problem I have with this whole series. Hold on real quick. This is your standard 3700. This is the small crankbait box. So it's considerably thicker. This full of crankbaits, this can only fit a couple, and it's just really not worth it. I don't really recommend that one, to be honest. It's not my favorite. If you have a boat, it might work better. It has not worked well for me at all. And then Spice also wanted to know, what do I think about the jig box? We kind of covered that earlier. That jig box is amazing. I think it's the best on the market. The way that it holds the head, kind of keeps your skirt all clean, and you don't have any issues. It's an excellent, excellent box. If you were only gonna pick up one of these boxes, I would pick up that jig box. That jig box is amazing. Great question, Spice. Next up, we got a question from Slocum Outdoors. He asked how to dry out the wick that's in there. So it does have that silica packet that we showed in there. And I found the best way is to take that thing, pop it in the microwave for like 3 to 5 seconds. It'll suck all that moisture out. You're good to go. You could pop the thing off. They do sell replacements. But honestly, 3 to 5 seconds, good to go. Great question. This question comes from 609 Fishing. What up, Wolfpack? Hey, so he wants to know, do they float and are they waterproof? So right when I first got them, that jig box, it was like the second time I took it out. I was reaching back to the crate, pulled it out, did what I needed to do, go to put it back in, let go, right into the drink. I was like, great, I'm screwed. So they do float, and that had a lot of jigs in it. I wouldn't say that these things are gonna float forever, because they're not. But they will float enough for you to be able to kind of swing around and grab your gear. And then, are they waterproof? They're pretty darn waterproof. I wouldn't trust my cell phone inside of them, but I've never had an issue with getting a lot of excess water inside of them. So great question again. This one is from user A Real Woman Handles Rods. She wants to know what baits fit best in it. Big glide baits. I would say the standard versions, not the best idea to put big glide baits. They do have a Flex series that's out where you can basically change the entire box. I mean, it comes blank and you get all the dividers put in. That might be your better option. It would be the Flex series, the Edge Flex. But the standard Edge series, not the best idea. Other than that, it'll fit everything. The 3600s have a standard and a deep size. And then the 3700s have a thin, standard, and deep size as well. All right, so this question is from Ramon Outdoors. He wants to know, how good is that one latch system? As I showed you guys, that latch system is on point. Again, easy peasy. But just like what you see here, man, that was like perfect. So if you're not all the way in, it'll pop off. So you want to make sure it hits, it secures tightly. Right there, see? So you think it's in, but it's not. So you want to double check on that. And then also it'll mislatch if you've got baits that are too big. So one side will kind of latch down, the other one will pop up. So be mindful of that. Other than that, that latch system is awesome. One of the things that sold me on the product is that latch system. Next question is going to be from Chasing Biggins. Chasing wants to know, do they have a spinner bait storage? So I would not recommend the standard 3,700 boxes for spinnerbait storage. There's just no way they're going to be able to fit. Maybe with the Flex series, but they also do come out with just a spinnerbait storage box. So you get the same latch system, but it's going to be like a tub that big. I don't have it. I don't throw a lot of spinnerbaits. To be honest, I've never caught a fish on a spinnerbait. So, but I do know they have a box. It's still going to have the same great latch system and the moisture wicking system, all of that in there. So they do have you covered on that. All right, this next question comes from ASAP Fishing. All right, so ASAP wants to know, can you adjust the slots? All right, so here's the 3,600 box. These yellow inserts, they can all come out. And they give you a ton. Like, I have these little things all over the place. They give you a ton of these inserts. All that comes out, and what you have left is this dark gray. So that's kind of the confines that you have to work with. Other than that, you can just kind of make it up how you want it to be. It's a really great system. And again, they do have that Flex series that's out. It's a little tough to get right now, but it's out. And that'll let you change the entire inside of it. So great question, ASAP. So final question of the day is going to be from Hooked 'em Fishing. He has a great question. He asks, what makes this better than the other tackle systems that are out there? So some of the big ones that are out now is going to be your Bass Mafia. That box is great. I have that box. That box is heavy. Its latch system is very secure. It's a little bit more secure than these Plano edges, but it takes a lot more effort to open and close that thing on the water, especially in a kayak. The Edge series is way better when it comes to that. Also, those things are heavy. They add weight. These are pretty light and very sturdy. Now, they're not bulletproof. They're not like the Bass Mafia where you can run them over with a truck or anything like that. But these things are going to hold up during wear and tear. I've ran them this whole season. I've had zero issues with cracking. I dumped one in the water. No problem with them at all. Yes, the price point is kind of high. But if you can get them on sale, which I would really look for, or if you can swing it, remember, you're kind of investing in the investment you already made with your baits. So as a whole, I do think it's the superior system that's out there. There's another company out, Groove Fishing. They have some boxes that are very similar in what they're kind of trying to do. My only issue with them is it's non-standard sizing. So it's kind of hit or miss. You don't have your standard like 36, 3,700. The Plano's even coming out with a 3,500, even smaller for you backpack guys. So I do think the Plano Edge system is the way to go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that other stuff I guess I'm supposed to say because I'm on YouTube. I don't know. Other than that, hope you guys have a good day. Tight lines, everybody.